This video is sponsored by Elgato Gaming. If you guys want to see how we record our gameplay and all the other equipment that we use, then you can click the link in the description box down below to check out more. Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Sifu. In this one, I just wanted to give you guys a chance to check out a little bit more gameplay and also just round up 6 things that I thought were really cool from the recent preview build. If you guys have missed out videos, I very kindly had a chance to jump into a preview build thanks to the guys at Slowclap and basically just play through one stage. I've since gone through and done it many times, trying out various different things, different gameplay elements, weapons, all the kind of cool stuff you can do. I've already got an impressions video up and a full gameplay run, so if you guys haven't seen those, check them out on the channel. But I just want to highlight a few things because honestly, the gameplay in this is so much fun and there's some really cool things to look forward to. So again, if you guys do enjoy this, like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below if you're looking forward to playing this, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. But in at number 1, the dying, aging, unlock skill mechanic. Basically, in this game, as you progress through, you will encounter enemies, and if they happen to defeat you, then you die, and thanks to your magical talisman, you can basically respawn. In doing so, you get older, and this of course visually reflects in your character. You start at the age of 20, and initially, your first death, you might just go up 1 year, but as you die more, as you kind of build up that death multiplier, the years will begin to jump more. You will of course go through the coins on your talisman, and then eventually you get to the point where if you've died too many times, you will hit 70 years old, which is the final point. If you die after that, you will of course be dead for good. And of course at that point, you also look pretty old. Of course, in the process of doing that, you become stronger, but you also have less health. So again, the idea is that of course, once you get super old, you have many years of martial arts experience, thus making you pretty deadly, but also making you slightly more fragile. But in the process, whenever you respawn, you can also unlock skills. And on a per run basis, you can of course unlock skills for that run, but in the full game, when you get access to all the unlocks, you'll also have the ability to unlock things permanently. So it'll then be one of those things where you'll have long-term progression amidst a run-by-run basis. Moving on from there to point number 2, interacting with the environment. This is probably one of my favorite things. It is so incredibly fluid in this game. You simply press A, or if you're playing on the PlayStation controller, that would be X. And basically, you can roll and vault over things. Run towards a desk, slide over it. Jump over a wall, jump over a sofa, jump over anything that you see that is basically in the way. And this is a really important part of gameplay because in this game, you want to avoid being surrounded. So if you get backed into a corner or backed against, say, like a sofa, you want to, in typical martial art movie fashion, basically just roll over it so you can then regain control of the environment and not get swarmed. Point number 3, of course, are throwing objects and also just finding things to use. This is another thing you'll be using throughout the game. You will find things like bottles you can throw, other things like that. You can, of course, also slide chairs across the ground. This is one of my favorite things, honestly. Sliding chairs to trip up enemies is so satisfying to do and to witness. But also on top of that, whenever you do get a chance to play, you do want to make sure you look around the environment because sometimes you'll find hidden weapons, and sometimes if you break things, they will also reveal additional weapons. In the club, one of the examples of that is there are wooden screens, and of course when you go to fight the big bouncers, if you destroy the screens, you can actually pick up pieces of wood as additional weapons. So basically in this game, there's going to be lots of sort of like hidden items you can use, again taking full advantage of the environment. In number 4, we of course have the awesome parry, deflect, and sort of evasion system, because in this game, again, you do have a default parry button. You can also just hold it down for blocking if you want to, and while for some of the basic attacks, you can simply just press it, the real nuance in this game comes in the directions that you input with your dodge and your parries, because when you get some of the big, strong, sweeping attacks, someone goes for a low kick or someone goes for like a high, heavy punch, in order to really combat this, you need to deflect it at the right time and also match the direction. And this is where the difference between, say, a beginner player and someone that's really experienced, I haven't mastered this just yet. I'm still getting there. I'm still working on it. But as you get further, as you get better, as you start to read certain enemy types, you'll be able to react better to them, so you can avoid being kicked up and tripped up and all different things like that. When you do really nail it, it does give you some great opportunities in combat. Of course, on top of that, number 5, there's also plenty of replay value, because when you do play throughout the game, you are not only unlocking more skills, you're also discovering new pathways. When you play the full game, you'll also be able to unlock different sort of shortcuts. There are some locked doors in this demo, so of course we didn't necessarily have the ability to sort of go through all of them, but these will of course be things that you'll go back and do, find different routes, find different rooms, find different weapons. So this is definitely going to be one of those games where a lot of the runs might be kind of short, but they are infinitely replayable. And also, finally, in number 6, super satisfying, but the focus attacks. When you build up the meter in the bottom left hand corner as you attack, You can then hold down L2 or left trigger to bring up the focus meter, and by default you have a couple of moves. You could of course poke someone in the eyes or trip them up, and this is pretty handy for dealing with some big powerful enemies. But also, as you go later on, as you unlock more abilities, or if you're carrying weapons, this unlocks additional options for you, so you can do some pretty devastating finishes. But there you have it, just a few more things I want to round out, a few sort of like highlights, things that I enjoyed experiencing in the preview build. Again, if you guys want to see a complete run from start to finish, check out the video on the channel, and if you want my full impressions on the game, then you can also find that out over on the channel. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to catch more from us, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest uploads. And if you want somewhere to hang out, play games, or chat all things from games to anime, food to fitness, consider joining the HyperX Gaming Discord.